Retro Requiem.
Hello and welcome to Retro Requiem. Today we are talking about Days of Future Past, which we just saw in theaters. Guys, actually, let me introduce who's here first. I'm Brian Perry, and with me today is Andrew Wagner.
Hey guys.
And Collin McConnell.
Hello.
First, let's have a quick discussion about the assholes who put a 3D version of the film in our theater.
Whoops. Movie showing is hard work, I guess.
Yeah.
It's hard to organize it.
It's a very understated profession.
Andrew, I feel like you're going to fall asleep back there.
I might.
He is bored from the movie.
There you go. Sit up.
So let's start with our overall thoughts about the movie. Andrew, since you're falling asleep, share with us first.
This was my highest anticipated movie of May, and it's my favorite movie of May. So yeah.
Really?
Yep.
You liked it better than God. Well, you didn't apparently like Godzilla.
You liked it better than Captain America 2?
Captain America 2. Wait, no, that
That
wasn't
didn't
May.
come out
That was
in
April.
May?
That was
When did it come
April.
out?
That was April.
Oh, don't act like I was far off.
It's not May.
It was
It
close
was a
enough.
It was
month
like
ago.
early April too.
Okay.
If we're classifying.
No, okay, I guess
Yeah.
that makes sense then.
It was better than Spider-Man. It was better than Godzilla in my
Better than
mind.
Spider-Man's not tough.
No.
Yeah, I'd say better than Godzilla too.
Really?
Me personally,
Mm.
I have it higher than Godzilla. Well,
I don't
okay.
get a boner every time I see Godzilla
Go
like
ahead.
Collin. So
Colin, go ahead and share your thoughts about this movie.
Well, if we're ranking them in terms of
It's hard to compare, so just like.
well, no, I did like Godzilla. I did not like this as much as Godzilla. It's, again, this Godzilla's not a superhero movie. My point is, this was enjoyable. It felt kind of generic. Like, I've seen this before. I've had this movie-going experience where the whole superhero genre, I feel like it's just, feels stale, kind of. That's what I take out of this film, so.
This movie, I think, is similar to Godzilla in that it's like super fan service. Because when I saw Godzilla, I think Godzilla is the movie, and we spoiled Godzilla. We're not gonna spoil Godzilla on this spoiler cast, but there are things in that movie that hardcore Godzilla fans, such as yourself, Colin,
Yes.
love, and that have not been done before. And I thought in this movie they threw back to a lot of the old films. They threw a lot of the old, like, at one point Quicksilver's like, hey, my mom used to know some guy who could control metal. And so they threw back to a lot of the comic books. And so I think if you're a big fan of the comics...
and he was actually holding his little sister, which is supposed to be Scarlet Witch.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right, yeah.
See, I didn't even catch that.
I didn't even think of that.
See, he there's a lot of things in this movie that, like, if you were paying attention, it's freaking loaded with Easter eggs, like, just all over the place.
Right.
And they throw it back constantly. I thought that was really cool.
It is Throwback Thursday, so.
It is Throwback Thursday?
Well,
Oh, that's right.
That's right. It's after midnight now.
I mean, it had a lot of Easter eggs. I guess if you're I have a feeling if you actually really like the comics and the original story, you're not gonna like this because they changed it a lot.
Oh, okay, well, then let's go.
I feel like you're still gonna like it. It's
No,
an
no,
enjoyable movie. It's
yes, it
unless
depends
you're
on
a
how.
complete prick and you're like, man, they didn't do exactly like the
Well,
comic.
no.
Well, no,
but
it's
I mean, you'd hate every
let me-
superhero movie then.
Let me say this. I feel like it felt like an elongated episode of a TV show in terms of
I agree with that.
in terms of plotting, I guess. It was like the beginning I felt was very abrupt in its setup of because they travel back in time. Wolverine, his consciousness travels back in time because of the future is messed up where the Sentinels are murdering everybody left and right, and so they have to send somebody back, and Wolverine goes back in time to try and do this and that and solve the future or whatever. And it just they had a cool. Basically, when you have anything narrated by Patrick Stewart, it's probably going to be good. So they had a cool opening, 2 minutes there. And then, like, they spent the next, it felt like, 10 minutes, maybe it was 15, where they go through, they have a quick fight scene where everyone gets killed by the Sentinels. They set up that, what's her name, Ellen Page.
You always lose. You give plot synopsis.
Because I think, I'm explaining. What's her name? Ellen Page.
Ellen Page can send people back.
Yeah, they established that. And then Professor X and Magneto show up, and then it's like, okay, Wolverine's going back in time, and then he goes back in time. Mm-hmm. And then that felt very abrupt, and it felt like this is the time travel
Bishop
movie.
Could go back in time.
Well, I think what this scene, like, why they had to do it that way is because this movie's already over 2 hours.
That's true.
So it's not like you could spend a lot of time. But I think
Make it 2.5 then, man.
that movie did not need to be longer.
No. I think it it dragged in places it didn't have to. You could make it a little snappier. And you could that's the thing, again, it's like I said this about Amazing Spider-Man 2. When it got down to the exposition and stuff like that, it was just not really well written. I didn't feel you have so many great actors in this film, more than I'm even going to list off. They're all extremely good, and I felt like they just didn't have much to read. They were trying their best to put.
It's exactly how I felt after Godzilla after a certain character goes missing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
That whole movie.
They had.
I think you guys are gonna like bash head.
Fight scene.
Well,
you guys are gonna bash head between Days of Future Past and Godzilla.
I'm trying not to talk about Godzilla here.
I think I disagree with you. I think I give a lot of credit to the writers, and let's get into the main purpose of this movie, which is to say the first X-Men movies. All of the X-Men movies before this, like, just really didn't happen.
Except for
First Class.
You mean by the end of it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
This movie basically exists.
Retconned everything.
Yes, to retcon everything. And I think they basically got together, whoever owns this X-Men franchise, Fox, but
it's
whoever,
Fox.
yeah, the Fox studio heads.
Yeah.
And they got together and they said, look, Marvel's kicking our ass. we have to do something. We have to pick it up. And we have crappy movies in our history. And so they were like, we need to tell stories, but we've already screwed up this so much that we have to find a way to go back. And this entire time travel thing was written so complicated. And we've talked about this. They wrote things in like Professor X has a serum that helps him walk.
Oh, yeah.
None of up his powers. Beast has a serum that makes him the Hulk.
None of that
instead of the Beast.
None of that shit made not the serum, not the there was like one thing where Beast used some device when they entered the CIA to try and break out Magneto. I don't know what the fuck the thing he used to like scoop the camera. That doesn't explain it. He switched all the security cameras. I'm just saying it was all. Now I understand you can suspension of disbelief, but
at least it looked 1970s. And
no,
I
agree.
Just Rebro and it looked like it was like a futuristic thing.
I'm just saying.
They try to make it look.
All I'm saying is all of this. You were explaining how they did all this stuff to kind of maneuver this
went
along.
Through so many hoops.
As you say, they were doing the most, Brad.
They were doing the most, Collin. That is a good use of some slang there. At the end, where Magneto. Okay, so go through the general plot. What happens is Mystique kills the guy who creates the Sentinels originally in the original timeline.
Tyrion Lannister.
Yes. So that happens, and because that happens, people move forward the Sentinel program because it instills the fear of mutants. Mm-hmm. So Wolverine goes back to try to stop Mystique, played by Jennifer Lawrence, from doing this. And at the end of the movie, Magneto has the opportunity to kill the president and is going to do so. But then Professor X and Mystique stop him.
Mystique mainly stops him.
Yeah, and then so Professor X has the they come by.
Plot synopsis.
Because I'm trying to rush. I don't want go see the movie. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's called Spoilercast. Just spoil it.
Point is
no, but I don't want to sit here and talk for 20 minutes about what happened. Point is they stop him. They could have arrested Magneto at the end, and they're like, "No, Magneto, go ahead."
They let him get away, basically.
Even though it's like, "Yep, you were totally going to kill the president. You're probably going to come and try again."
I mean, who could stop him?
I think they were going
keep him in jail.
Well, no, because
Professor
X could stop him, and that's what Magneto said. Magneto said, if they take me, I'm gonna die. And Professor X is like, yeah, okay, go, because I don't want you to die.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so that's basically
it.
And Magneto has proven himself to be an enemy and a disruptive force.
But a central theme of it was just because someone does wrong, it doesn't mean they can't change.
But they have consequences, right? And so Magneto commits a crime. If you truly believe in America and everything he says, you would let him serve under the justice system. And if they sentence him to death, they sentence him to death. Well, you can't say he didn't deserve it.
Well, we're getting kind of off track here.
No, but I'm saying that goes along. That more goes along with Professor X's mentality than yeah, go ahead.
Well, because I guess he knew that they were going to experiment on him or something like that. Yeah, that's what I assumed. Anyway,
the end of this movie, you're going to watch this movie and then get to the end and be like, "What the fuck just happened?" Because that's where my mind is focused on the end of the movie.
I know.
Well, no,
I thought it
because
was really clear.
yeah, I understand. Because I mean, they actually bring back everybody.
Yeah, they do.
And in the end, because there's a scene where Wolverine wakes up. He's the only one who remembers this alternate hell future.
Yeah.
And he wakes up in the Professor X Mutant Academy, and everyone is back. Everyone is all together. Jean Grey never died. Scott Summers or Cyclops never died. They're both there. Everyone's all
Kelsey Grammer's
dandy. Kelsey Grammer has a cameo, and so it's basically like the first 3 movies never happened.
Yeah. No, but apparently, and we've talked about this a little bit, but just for the people at home to hear, apparently Wolverine never gets metal claws now.
Yes, he does.
No, okay. At the
We
end
didn't
of this,
see his claws in the future.
At the end of this movie, Mystique makes a decision that seems to point toward a moral goodness in Mystique.
Mm-hmm.
We can argue with that. She has a chance to kill this guy to get revenge, but decides to take the high road and does not kill this guy. So Wolverine is fished out of a lake in the 70s. And it looks like Stryker, who is the guy who experiments on him in, his past and X-Men Origins and X-Men 2. X2, I guess?
X2.
It looks like he has Wolverine, but it turns out to be Mystique hiding or, taking refuge as Stryker. So now Mystique has Wolverine instead of the government having Wolverine.
Well, I mean, how is she gonna? I think she just teams up with him. I think that's what it implies. It doesn't imply that because I don't know how she's gonna even stop him at all. All she do is shift shapes.
So now, right, the government never gets Wolverine. He never goes through this X program.
Yeah. Well.
He never gets the metal claws.
Yeah.
But obviously...
but that's the thing, we don't know that.
Yeah, there's something's going to happen, yeah.
40, 50 years between then and the end.
He's going to get his metal claws.
Do you
think this was a successful way of making Wolverine be able to join the First Class cast? Because now he's in the 70s.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Now he's with them.
He's part of the...
So basically, you can say, fuck Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Storm, blah, 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 blah. Forget the future. We're done with that.
Pretty much.
Now you can just bring the complete focus on First Class because now Wolverine's involved in this world.
Yeah.
And going forward, he's going to share the screen with James McAvoy and Mike Fassbender.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that going forward?
That's fine. Well, I mean, God knows they're Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart are pretty old, so I don't know if they want to be doing these things anymore. But yeah, I mean, when they first came out, First Class was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it, and I thought it was. I mean, God, speaking of great actors in these roles, Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy are incredibly talented. So yeah, going forward, I look forward to that. They can certainly carry a franchise. Jennifer Lawrence, incredibly talented. So yeah.
Do you think they're done telling stories with Ian McKellen with everyone in the future?
Yeah.
I can see them bringing them back for cameos every now and then, but for the most part, yeah, probably.
I agree.
I see him done.
Which means, and I brought this all back just so I could throw some fan service for myself in here, that Channing Tatum as Gambit is joining the First Class cast.
Not gonna work.
I'm truly excited.
Not good casting.
Yeah, that was not good.
I disagree with this casting.
It's not that great. I'm not gonna lie to you, but having Channing Tatum as that actor means I think he's gonna have a pretty, I don't want to say significant role, but he's gonna have a bigger role now in this universe than if they had got someone else. Then Gambit would have just.
I don't even dislike Channing Tatum. I just think that's a weird role to put him in.
Yeah, it is a weird role.
I agree.
Yeah.
He's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy.
But let's focus on this movie. There was a lot of controversy over Quicksilver's costume design, and I still think it looks really stupid.
Yeah.
But his character, I really enjoy in this movie. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, he's really awesome in this movie. He's I forget his name. He's played by a guy from American Horror Story. I'm pretty sure.
If you say so, I never watched that show.
Him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's him. I thought he was really good in his role in that. I mean, I loved the first season of that show, and I thought he was really good in this too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was the comic relief, really, and he did pretty well in that role.
Yeah, I think he was great. I think I enjoyed his time. His time on screen isn't very long. What would you guys say? 20 minutes? 30 minutes?
Yeah, roughly.
It's right around that.
Yeah.
And like in that 30 minutes, he kind of takes over the screen. I think. With his super speed is really cool and it's really cleverly used.
Yeah.
Throughout it. Definitely. I'm trying to think. Early on, there was also some controversy over the design of the Sentinels that released, and they came out the first screenshots. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it early on. How did you guys feel about it in the movie?
Well, I knew those were sorry.
No, go ahead.
I knew they were going to be the early or the futuristic version of them, so
Yeah.
it kind of made sense that they wouldn't look like the old version. And I thought even the ones that came back in the 70s looked semi-correct to the comic book versions.
Yeah, I mean, I like... That's actually, I like how they changed it from the comics, because in the future it makes sense. In the original comics, they're just giant metal, or maybe they had some sort of alloy or something, but they were big things that had laser beams in their palms, and that's how. In this movie, they steal Mystique's adaptation ability, and now they can basically adapt to any mutant and switch up, and they're not like liquid metal or anything like T-1000, but they have.
Also be Darwin's.
No, he died.
Adapt to survive.
He died.
I know, but I'm saying
he got murdered by Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
He was 1 degree away from
Couldn't
Kevin
they find
Bacon.
some scraps of him though?
I don't know.
I mean, they found scraps of everyone else.
He literally burned up. He's dead. But
capturing some air with his follicles.
Anyway, so now these new Sentinels are kind of like a cross between that one thing from the Thor movie with a cannon in its head and the thing from The Day the Earth Stood Still. So I like it.
Except for they can't break down to thousands of nanobots.
Yeah, shit, they might be able to. They did a lot of other crazy stuff. Regardless, sure. It made sense. It made sense that they could obliterate like an entire mutant species.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I think I really like their design only because in the cartoon series, at least, they killed a lot of Sentinels.
Mm-hmm.
They were just these big lumbering things made of metal. Wolverine chopped them down all the time, and they were never that formidable.
Yeah.
Okay, and we talked about it a little bit, but now that this franchise has been retconned, and now it's like sort of beginning, what sticks out to you most as the biggest thing that happened in the past, but now they sort of like got a chance to redo it, that you think they might revisit? It's like an idea from one of the old movies or something like that.
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
No, I think, well, I mean, it seems pretty clear. Right now their pattern is that they're adapting all the classic X-Men stories, and God knows there are plenty of them. So, I mean, I think they're probably going to forge a new path. Next up is Age of Ultron, Jesus Christ. Jesus.
Apocalypse.
Age of Apocalypse. It's both ages. I don't know. Yeah. So, God, they actually, even before I could, after I stopped reading comic books, there have been so many. There was House of M, where Magneto takes over the entire world. There was all kinds of crazy shit happening. So that's where I see the series going, is they'll just, for each movie, they'll adapt a limited series of comic books.
I think that's a good plan going forward. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess this brings us to our final comments. Final thoughts on the movie, and then a final score. Andrew, take it away, buddy.
I thought the movie was really good. Like I said, I found it my most enjoyable movie of May. There was some times when it's lagged, but I thought the writing was good. I thought it was clear and concise. I did think they repeated themselves sometimes, but I mean, to make people that aren't fans of the comic books to understand the story, I guess they kind of had to do that. But overall, I'd give it like an 8.5.
You were talking all that good stuff. You gave it an 8.5.
I gave Godzilla a 7.
What did you give Captain America?
7.
Like a 9.
That's what I'm thinking. Captain America's.
That's a 0.5 better than this.
Yeah, I mean, it was by no means a bad movie. The action wasn't too gratuitous, even though Magneto rips an entire stadium out of the ground. But I mean, it was.
Bobby got his head popped off.
That's true. I did like that, actually. I'll mention that quickly.
Got ripped in half.
I liked how brutal the Sentinels just murdered everybody in the future.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I guess it was impermanent, so that's how they could get away with it. But it just maybe it's just general fatigue with these kind of movies. I really enjoyed. The pecking order goes the Marvel Disney owned films, these movies by Fox, the X-Men movies, and then the Spider-Man movies. It seems like the Marvel Disney movies have much more interesting characters. They have much more interesting stories. They do more interesting things with these films. And the Spider-Man, the X-Men movies just kind of, they have the same aesthetic to them that's just I'm just getting fatigue. I'm getting superhero blockbuster fatigue. I've seen all of this before. It's just more blah and shit getting blown up and dragged around, and I don't know, I'm tired, man. I'm tired of this. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep spending $10 on these movies,
You got
dude.
Guardians of the Galaxy coming up.
That's now again, but that's a Disney. That's a Marvel Disney movie, and I have high hopes for that. That's the thing. They have enough quirk and interesting things that they put in these movies that make them worth it. I look forward to them. These is just like I don't know. That's what I talk about with the dialogue and all. The exposition and all of that. These things seem like they were popped out of a machine and on an assembly line. And the best thing about these movies is they cast really talented actors, and they carry it. They know how to invest these interpersonal scenes with a lot of emotion and enough to make you invested in it to some extent. But I think without that, it just feels really generic. And
Get to a score already.
oh my god, fine.
It's only 5 minutes.
7. Because I'm explaining how I feel about the goddamn movie.
It
Andrew.
was final comments and a score, so you're good, buddy.
7.75.
7.75.
It's probably gonna drop. All my review score drop, but sure, I didn't hate it.
I'm torn between this movie because at times I did enjoy the writing. I enjoyed a lot of the throwbacks. I enjoyed a lot of the cameos. I thought the action was well done. I thought it was well acted. Although at times I was just bored. Just straight bored. And I can't even explain it even further than that. Professor Xavier had his own personal turmoil that I don't think was relative. I don't think was very interesting in general. I don't think his and Mystique's storyline is really interesting going forward. Like their little connection, like now they're brother and sister, or something. I didn't think that was that interesting. Honestly, the only connection that I see between the Days of Future Past cast that I really enjoy seeing is Wolverine, and that's only because he's a fish out of water. So in this one he was making references to the future and things that happened, and that's why I really liked his part with the cast. But I don't know. I don't see how that goes forward in future movies because he's going to be planted in the 70s.
I just realized something.
What?
Does he not remember anything that happened?
I don't know, Colin. This movie's really... I totally
what do you
understand.
mean? Wait, what do you mean?
I mean...
When he wakes up in the 70s...
Yeah.
And he goes to a Mystique, does he remember the future?
No. What? Yeah, does he remember everything that happened with the Sentinels and all that?
Wolverine is sent in the past, and Wolverine remembers the future. He's the only one.
Yeah.
He gets thrown in the lake.
Mm-hmm.
He dies, and the connection with Kitty Pryde is severed.
From there on, he's the normal Wolverine. He's not future Wolverine anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So he doesn't have any of the memories.
No, he doesn't have any of the memories. Okay. He comes back in the future, so he'll be like normal Wolverine.
Well, wait. But in the future, he doesn't remember what happened.
No, he does.
No, he doesn't. Because he was like, you're going to have to catch me up because my history is different.
Yeah, he doesn't remember.
So in the future, he doesn't remember what happens during that time period.
No. That's why I'm saying that he won't know that it's Mystique being Stryker. He won't know any of the people that he met already during this movie.
Yeah, I didn't think of that until just now.
That's really this movie is really... And see, they get so freaking complicated at times with this time travel, and they force things so that it fits, and it irks me a little bit.
That's what you get with time travel, man.
Because they fuck with time travel. They could have just...
Time travel.
They could have just done what Star Wars did and said, fuck it, those movies don't exist anymore. They could have just done it and called it a day. So, God, I don't even... I went from to a high 8 to a low 8 to a low 7 to now a high 7 to a mid 8. I don't even... just for the sake of winning a deal with Izzy, because I think he said Thor 2 was going to be better than X-Men Days of Future Past, and I disagreed with him. So screw Izzy. I gave it 8.6 because I gave Thor an 8.5.
Good for you.
I win that.
Spite.
I win that bet with him.
Spite.
Score today. And much like the scene that we waited forever for after the credits, we'll talk about that scene now because we thought originally in a lot of superhero movies now, there's the short credits and then a scene.
Yeah. Before the scroll, they actually have
the
thing.
This one made you wait. After the
entire time. Although it was worth it, I think. It was effectively because it was so different from what happened in the movie. It was such an alien kind of thing that I felt that wait.
Well, Colin, just take it away. Tell the people at home what happens.
Well, so everyone knows, and I'm not going to get into that. Everyone knows the next movie is going to be Age of Apocalypse.
Yes.
They know they probably started filming it for all I know by now. So Apocalypse in the comics is the first mutant who lived in ancient Egypt, and he awakens somehow in the present, and he's a bad guy. So he's known for his blue skin, and then he has like some sort of power suit or something. I don't know, weird costume. That's in the comics, and so
he's not gonna have that power suit.
No, probably not. Well, that's the thing. So the end of the credits thing is set in ancient Egypt, and we see Apocalypse basically building the pyramids with his powers.
Mm-hmm.
So
there were no slaves back then.
Nope. He was just like, "Okay, everyone can chill. I'm gonna do this.
I got this one, guys.
Yeah, for the team doing this." And he looks like just an ordinary person with blue skin in this one. But I figure living somehow through eons he'll probably like have to survive somehow, and he'll become more reminiscent of the Apocalypse in the comic books.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't ancient Egypt only like
5,000?
Yeah, 5,000.
Yeah, roughly 5,000 years ago.
Not eon. So
what's an eon? I don't know. What
an eon's like 10,000 years.
Okay,
or something.
Well, it's
don't nitpick at Collin.
Anyway,
he was close enough. No, so
100,000.
We talked about it, and we're gonna have a full discussion about what we think's gonna happen in the Age of Apocalypse. Who we think
Apocalypse
is
gonna
included.
come back. And,
Apocalypse is gonna come back. Oh, thank you, Andrew.
And he's gonna be the main villain, and it's gonna involve the first class guys plus Gambit and Wolverine.
Yeah,
and that's how it's gonna happen. That's my prediction.
Thank you so much for being a prick. I appreciate it. No, remember to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube page to see more Spoilercast, including every superhero movie that's happened this year so far. I think we've covered
pretty much
Spider-Man, Captain America. That's it.
Thor was last year. Okay.
Godzilla's not a superhero movie. But
Godzilla is a superhero.
Godzilla's a superhero. Godzilla's gonna come back with a cape.
He saved everyone, and then just walked away and waved and walked away.
He played basketball with Charles Barkley. God damn it.
He did play basketball with Charles Barkley in the comics.
Just feed him a freaking Snickers, he'd be fine.
Or a Fiat.
And come back.
Or a Fiat. He spit that out.
That's
it tasted disgusting.
Italian trash.
And come back to Metro Requiem to see our Guardians of the Galaxy spoiler cast, which will be all the way in August.
Yeah.
God, is there a movie before that we need to do a spoiler cast?
I don't think so.
I'm trying to think of
Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
that's in August too.
I'm not spending my money on that, bro.
I'm not seeing that shit.
I'm not spending my money on
Fuck
that.
you, Michael Bay.
Learn
how to make a real fucking
Transformers,
movie.
Age of Extinction. Damn, all of age of shit.
Yeah, they're all age of shit. It's a definite maybe.
I'm tired of giving Michael Bay my money. Eat a dick, Michael Bay.
I'm going to tell you what you told me when we first met. Fuck off.
He said, go fuck yourself.
No, he said fuck off.
No, he said, go fuck yourself.
He said fuck off.
He said, go fuck yourself.
He said fuck off.
He said, go fuck
He said
yourself.
fuck off.
He said, go fuck yourself.
In the movie that we just watched.
In the first class, he said, go fuck yourself.
I know, but in the movie we just watched, McAvoy said fuck off.